wake up the next morning, I feel fantastic. And I love this because this isn't going to cost you money, and I'm not selling something right here. I'm just sharing tips because I want you to feel better. In this video, we're going to talk about what I do when I get glutened or have gluten, for those who are not used to the term glutened. But when I get glutened or accidentally consume gluten, it's not fun, right? Who's been there? It can be very hard to control situations. I don't always even know where it came from, but most of the time in my kitchen, I'm good. But it's when I'm at someone's house, right, out and about, anyone else relate to this, that's when I can run into issues. But I'm gonna share two things, so keep watching because you probably have everything you need in your house right now. Not gonna cost you much, can really help you with all those issues that gluten can cause us. Now, I started going gluten-free mostly because of brain fog and inflammation. So I have some kind of inflammation issues. I have to be on top of some autoimmune issues. And my husband, he was gluten-free for a whole year before I finally was like, oh crap, I feel better without gluten too. And that brain fog stopped and that inflammation stopped. I was like, nothing tastes good enough to experience that again. So I've not gone back to gluten for over 7 years. I've also found supplements. In that journey of healing, I don't have much gut issues, sugar cravings, bloating, constipation, all these things are so much better. I have energy to get through my day. I'm not fatigued, not overtired. And I share all my tips and tricks and recipes in my gluten-free group on Facebook. It's free. You can join it, link in the comments below. But now, what do I do when I get glutened? Right? Because I don't know about you, but that brain fog that I feel and like the achy inflammation in my body alone, they're just horrible. I know a lot of you deal with worse. I actually don't notice I've been gluten until 24 hours later. My husband, it's much sooner. I'm not allowed to go into detail about what he goes through when he gets gluten, but it's rough. And a lot of you guys know this. What can you do? Now, there are supplements that a lot of people take. They don't seem to work for me because by the time I realize I'm gluten, it's through my digestive system. But you absolutely can do charcoal. I already take enzymes, but you can definitely take enzymes to help break it down, help your digestive system work. I always take probiotics. Having all these supplements I'm always doing anyway, which really gives me a leg up when I get glutened. But here are the two things you can do right now to help with the gluten. If you're like, Diana, just tell me I'm being glutened right now. 1, digestion. We need to give it a rest so your gut can heal. What works for me is doing a day where I only do meal replacements and bone broth. You could do just bone broth if you wanted, but really giving my digestion a chance to rest, but still giving it what it needs. I do electrolytes and protein. I have clean meal replacements. I can share the ones I like down in the comments. And then my own homemade bone broth is what I like to use, but you can absolutely use some kind of store-bought. I'll link again some good brands below. You're mostly looking for ones that have at least like 9 grams of protein per cup, but this is gonna heal your gut and let it rest. It's a version of fasting, but not as hard as fasting, and it really helps. That's tip number 1. And tip number 2, detox baths. These are really helpful. Epsom salts are great, but I don't feel like they're 100% essential. What is essential is sweating. You want sweat dripping out, because what's happening is that sweat literally pushes toxins out of your skin. This is really helpful for me because I get body aches when I have gluten. And when I take a hot detox bath, so much better. I recommend trying to sweat for 10 to 15 minutes. If you haven't done this much, more to 5 to 10. Definitely have your electrolytes before, during, and after your bath. Make sure to cool off pretty quickly if you're someone who can get overheated. Epsom salts help. They're really beneficial. Again, not essential. Those two things, I can turn around my day, and at least by the evening of that fasting, my brain is finally clear again, and when I wake up the next morning, I feel fantastic. And I love this because this isn't going to cost you money, and I'm not selling something right here. I'm just sharing tips because I want you to feel better. this is helpful, make sure to go join my free Facebook group below where I share all these kind of hacks and tips and more details of things that I do on my gluten-free journey.